welcome to this deep dive. We're really diving deep into this message about how we see each other, how we treat each other.
Oh, absolutely.
From this recent religious conference, and you know me, I'm all about that personal growth,
Yeah.
those meaningful connections.
Right.
And this one really got me thinking.
Well, and what struck me right away was just how much the speaker, he used stories, examples, things that really kind of hit home.
Yes.
You know, he kicks it off with this idea that we often judge based on appearances and we miss the bigger picture.
Yeah, it's like that story you told about the prophet Samuel, right?
Yes.
Going to anoint a new king.
Yeah.
And he sees Eliab, and I mean, the guy sounds impressive.
Yeah, yeah.
And Samuel's like, boom, there he is. That's the chosen one.
That's the guy.
But he was so off.
So off. And I love how the Lord has to remind him, like, hello, Samuel. I'm looking at the heart here.
Right. It's that reminder to not just go off of looks, you know?
And it's funny because that's such a foundation for everything else he talks about. Like, it just reminds me of how often we do that, right?
Oh, every day.
Just make snap judgments without even thinking about it.
Oh, yeah. We size people up so fast.
So fast. It's like, bam, judgment.
And we don't even realize we're doing it half the time.
Right. And this message, it's like this call to just pause, you know?
Yes.
And actually see people
Really see them.
for who they are.
It's so true.
And to drive this home even further,
Yeah.
he brings in Jesus.
Of course.
Which, I mean, it makes sense, right?
Right.
He's like the ultimate example.
Yeah.
And the speaker, he points out how Jesus constantly saw past those societal labels and prejudices.
Yeah. He didn't care about any of that.
He was focused on what really mattered.
The heart.
The inherent worth of a person.
And he didn't just sit back and watch like he was some passive observer.
Yeah, no.
He jumped right in.
He got involved.
The speaker uses those stories straight from the Gospels, like the woman caught in adultery.
Oh, yeah. Talk about a situation ripe for judgment.
Right. I mean, instant, harsh judgment.
Absolutely. And I mean, you can't blame them, right? The religious leaders, they saw her as, well, a sinner.
Breaking the law.
Black and white.
Open and shut case. Right.
Exactly.
But then there's Jesus.
And he just comes in with this totally different perspective.
Yeah, completely different.
He sees her, yes, as someone who messed up, but he also sees her heart.
Right. Her potential.
That capacity for repentance, for change.
That's what always gets me about that story, that go and sin no more.
It's so good.
It's like he cut right through all the noise, all the judgment, and just offered her a path forward.
Exactly. And that's the thing I love about this example. It's not about condemnation. It's about redemption.
Yes.
It's about looking past the label of sinner and seeing the human being underneath.
And it's not like this is a one-time thing with Jesus, right?
Oh, absolutely not. This was his MO.
Yeah.
The speaker highlighted how Jesus treated everyone with that same dignity and respect.
It didn't matter who they were or what they'd done.
It's like he saw past all of that to the core of who they were. He saw their inherent worth as children of God.
Exactly.
And that's another thing from this message that really resonated with me, that idea that we all share that same divine origin.
It's profound when you really think about it.
It really is.
Because if we truly believe that we're all children of the same God, created equal in his eyes,
Right.
how can we justify treating anyone with disrespect
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
prejudice?
It just doesn't compute.
It shouldn't.
It should change everything about how we interact with each other.
It really should.
No matter their background, their beliefs, what they're going through, it shouldn't matter.
It's about leading with compassion.
Compassion, yes.
Yeah.
It's like that idea, that shared origin, it kind of flips the script, you know? It's like all those labels we use for ourselves and everyone else, they seem so much less important.
Right. And it's not even just about, labeling other people.
Yeah.
This speaker, he even talked about the labels he uses.
Oh, interesting.
He was like, French. That's not who I am. It's just where I was born.
Right. He really emphasized that his most important identity, the thing that really defined him, was being a child of God.
I bet that's freeing,
I think so.
to see yourself and everyone else through that lens.
Yeah, definitely.
Like it opens up this whole new level of connection.
For sure, because all those labels we tend to cling to.
Right. Nationality, our job,
Political views.
everything.
They don't tell the whole story.
It's just a tiny piece of who we really are.
Exactly.
We're so quick to put people in boxes.
All the time.
And this message is like, boom, here's a giant box cutter.
Love it.
It's like, no, look deeper, see the individual inside.
See the person.
And speaking of seeing beyond labels, you know that story about Isabel?
Oh, yeah, that got me.
Right.
Yeah, when he was talking about his wife.
And how she approaches serving others.
Administering assignment, right.
Yeah, where she had to go visit this elderly woman in their congregation.
And she was, well, he kind of hinted that she wasn't exactly the easiest person to deal with.
Yeah. Kind of known for being a little difficult.
A little isolated, a little bitter.
Yeah. Convinced she had nothing to offer.
It would have been so easy to just go through the motions with someone like that, you know?
Oh, totally.
But not Isabel.
She's different.
She saw past all that.
Yeah.
She recognized a daughter of God who just needed someone to care.
It's amazing how she just kept showing up.
I know, even when the woman was resistant.
And then later, when she needed help after that surgery,
Isabel was there.
didn't even hesitate.
Just jumped right in.
And you know what gets me?
What's that?
The speaker, he pointed out that Isabel, she never focused on the negative stuff.
She just led with compassion.
She chose to see the woman's worth, her dignity.
Powerful.
It's like a perfect example, right?
It really is.
Of what it means to love unconditionally.
To really see the heart, like we were talking about earlier.
Exactly.
And, you know, it's not always about these big, grand gestures, right?
Yeah.
It's the small, everyday moments.
Yeah, those matter too.
Where we choose to see the best in people, even when it's hard.
Yeah, it's about catching yourself when you start making assumptions.
Right.
Remembering that everyone has a story.
Absolutely. Everyone's got their own struggles, things we might not know about.
Exactly. Which kind of leads into that idea the speaker brought up about covenant belonging.
Oh, yeah, that was interesting.
He talked about putting our shared values and commitments above our differences.
Yeah, what'd you think about that?
So we're talking about how covenant belonging, it's kind of like, instead of focusing on all the things that separate us,
Right, all those little differences.
it's like, let's focus on those deeper values we share.
Exactly, the things that actually matter.
Build some bridges instead of walls, you know?
Yes, 100%. And, you know, that really connects to what he called interacting in a higher, holier way.
Ooh, I like that.
Right.
It's powerful.
It makes you think about those everyday interactions
It does.
and how we can make them, I don't know, more meaningful.
Yeah, more intentional.
It's like he's challenging us to rise above all the petty stuff, the judgments,
Call that noise.
and really see that divine spark in everyone.
Yes, exactly.
It's about remembering we're all in this together.
We are.
Our shared humanity, that's what matters.
It's so much bigger than all those differences.
way bigger.
But I gotta say, it's not always easy, is it?
Oh, tell me about it.
To choose love and understanding when you meet someone
Yeah.
and they see the world so differently than you do.
It's a practice. It's not like a one-time thing, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a conscious choice you got to make every day.
And you know what I appreciated?
What's that?
He wasn't saying, like, pretend those differences aren't there.
Right.
It's more like, how do we approach those differences with humility?
Yeah, with openness.
Yeah, and a desire to actually connect
Instead of just shutting down.
on a deeper level.
Yeah.
You know?
It reminds me of that quote, everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about.
Oh, I love that.
Be kind.
So good.
You just never know what someone else is going through.
And you know what got me? The way he ended the whole talk with that children's song.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say.
I mean, it sounds cheesy when I say it out loud,
Right.
but I teared up a little.
Me too, I'm not going to lie.
I mean, it was just the perfect way to bring it all home, you know?
Totally. That simple message about loving each other, seeing the good.
It just hits different coming from a kid, you know?
It's like, they get it, you know?
They haven't been jaded by the world yet.
Exactly. It reminds us that sometimes those most profound truths are the simplest ones.
So well said. And this whole deep dive, I don't know about you.
Yeah.
It's really got me thinking.
Me too.
It's like a good reminder. Yeah, we've all got our blind spots.
Oh, yeah, we all do.
And it really takes effort
Not just effort.
to look beyond those surface judgments
See the heart.
and really connect, you know,
Authentically connect. Yeah.
for real, for
Yeah.
real.
It's a journey, isn't it?
It is.
And the beautiful thing is, we don't have to do it alone.
We're all in this together, right?
Exactly. We can encourage each other, learn from each other.
And keep striving for those deeper connections.
That's what it's all about.
And on that note, I think we're going to wrap up this deep dive.
Time flies when you're having fun.
It really does. But before we go, I want to hear from you.
Yes, let's keep the conversation going.
What labels do you find yourself using? Maybe without even realizing it, you know?
Well, we've all do it.
And how can you apply these ideas, you know, to build more authentic, more compassionate relationships in your own life?
That's what we want to know.
That's something to ponder, folks, as we sign off until next time.